I'm Evan, 35, working as a financial analyst in a mid-sized firm in Boston. It wasn't flashy, but it paid the bills and gave me a sense of purpose. My days started early, coffee in hand by 6 a.m., answering emails before most people were even out of bed. I liked that feeling, being productive while the city was still asleep. I lived with my girlfriend, Rachel, 33. We'd been together for 4 years, and though we weren't married yet, we talked about it like a matter of when, not if. Rachel worked as a freelance graphic designer, creative, spontaneous, always full of ideas. She'd call me in the middle of the day just to share a color palette she was working on or ask for my opinion on a font. I loved those calls. They reminded me that I was part of something bigger than just numbers on a screen. Our apartment was small but cozy. A third-floor walk-up in South End with creaky hardwood floors and the faint scent of old books mixed with the lavender candles Rachel liked to light in the evenings. We'd have dinner together most nights, me cooking, her setting the table. She always joked that I was the steady one, the guy who could figure out a budget, who never forgot to pay the electric bill. I liked that she relied on me. It made me feel useful, like I was building a life not just for myself, but for both of us. Rachel's friends adored her, and by extension, they tolerated me. I'd help out when I could, driving her to pick up prints for a show, assembling shelves for her studio, even helping her write invoices when clients were late on payments. I liked feeling like I was the glue in her world. Even her parents, who lived up in Maine, would sometimes call me to ask if Rachel was eating enough or if she was remembering to send birthday cards. I never minded. It felt good to be needed. That was the life I knew. Early mornings, steady work, quiet dinners, and the occasional lazy Sunday watching movies on the couch. A life where I felt secure, trusted, loved, or so I thought. Looking back, I wonder how I didn't see it sooner. The signs were there, small things, easy to brush aside if you didn't want to look too closely. And I didn't. I didn't want to believe that the life I'd built was anything but solid. It started with the late-night text Rachel would get, her phone lighting up on the coffee table while we watched TV. At first, I told myself it was just clients. She was a freelancer. After all, deadlines didn't keep office hours. But the way she'd glance at the screen, then flip the phone face down, it stirred something in my gut. Everything okay? I asked once, as casually as I could. Yeah, just a project I'm working on, she replied, her smile a little too quick, a little too tight. I wanted to believe her. I did. But my mind started keeping track in the background. Like a spreadsheet with hidden formulas, there were other moments too, like the time I came home early from work and found her sitting on the balcony, phone pressed to her ear, her voice hushed and hurried. When she saw me, she ended the call so fast it was like the words had burned her tongue. Who was that? I asked, trying not to sound accusatory. Just a friend, she said, waving it off, her eyes flickering away. I nodded, pretending that was enough. Then there were the canceled plans, dinners she'd forget about, texts that went unanswered for hours. The way she started dressing differently, subtle at first, new earrings, a brighter shade of lipstick, tops that I'd never seen her wear before. She said it was for work, for her image, and maybe it was. That's what I told myself. She was growing, evolving, and I was proud of her, proud that she was finding her own path. But at night, when the apartment was quiet and the city sounds hummed in the background, I'd lie awake staring at the ceiling, a knot in my chest tightening with every thought I tried to suppress. Don't be paranoid, I whispered to myself. She loves you. She wouldn't. She couldn't. The knot never unraveled. It just sat there, waiting. It happened on a rainy Thursday evening, the kind where the sky feels heavy and the world moves slower. I came home earlier than usual, train delays, an early client cancellation, and as I pushed open the door, the sound of Rachel's voice floated through the hallway, soft, hushed, almost a purr. I paused, the grocery bag in my hand growing heavier by the second. I know, I can't wait either. He's such a, well, you know how he is, predictable. Always the safe choice. My heart stuttered. I inched closer, the floorboards creaking under my weight. Through the cracked door of the bedroom, I could see her, curled up on the bed, phone pressed to her ear, twirling a strand of hair around her finger like a teenager. A safe choice. The words echoed in my head, each syllable carving a hollow in my chest. She laughed then, a sound I used to love. It felt like a slap. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. My fingers tightened around the plastic bag, until it crinkled loudly, snapping the moment like a twig. Her head whipped toward the sound. Our eyes locked, and in that instant, I knew. I dropped the groceries on the floor, eggs cracked, milk pooled across the tile. My hands shook. Who was that? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Her mouth opened, then closed, like a fish gasping for air. It's not what you think, she started, but the words were empty. I didn't stay to hear more. I turned, grabbed my coat, and left as the door clicked behind me. The weight of it all pressed down. A cold, suffocating wave. Everything I had built, everything I thought I knew, crumbled in a single moment, and there was no going back. I came back the next day, not because I wanted to, but because I needed to hear it from her. The truth, no matter how ugly, had to be spoken aloud. Rachel was sitting on the couch when I walked in, her hair pulled back, face pale, hands twisting a napkin into a tight knot. The apartment smelled like stale coffee and regret. I didn't expect you back so soon, she said, voice small. I'm not here to fight, I said quietly. I just want the truth. Who is he? She flinched, then let out a shaky breath. His name is Jason. We met at the gallery opening last month. The gallery. I repeated, the word bitter on my tongue. How long has this been going on? Her eyes darted to the floor. A few months. I nodded, the weight of it settling on my shoulders like wet cement. Was it just physical? I asked, my voice like ice, controlled. She hesitated, then whispered. No, it wasn't just that. The room went still, like the world was holding its breath. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator, the faint tick of the wall clock. You said I was predictable. I continued, my tone cutting. Safe. Boring. That's what you told him, right? Her lip trembled. Evan, I never meant for you to save it. I interrupted, my hand raised to stop the words I couldn't unhear. You had a choice. Rachel, every day, you had a choice. And you made it. Don't insult me by pretending you didn't know what you were doing. Tears welled in her eyes. But I didn't move to comfort her. I watched her cry, the same way I'd watched the rain slide down the windows the night before. I'm not here to argue, I said, standing. I'm here to tell you that I'm done. You can have your freedom, Rachel, just don't call it love. As I turned to leave, she whispered, Evan, please. But I didn't stop. Months passed. I didn't reach out, didn't check in, but I heard things. Whispers carried on the wind, fragments of the life Rachel had tried to build on the ashes of ours. Jason, it turned out, wasn't the answer she thought he was. He lost his job at the gallery after a client complained about inappropriate behavior. The gallery didn't need the scandal. His reputation, once built on charm and connections, collapsed like a house of cards. Rachel tried to stand by him at first, but the weight of unpaid bills, mounting debts, and the cold looks from former friends grew too heavy. Her freelance clients slowly faded away too. Word got around, as it always does in small creative circles. Deadlines missed, projects abandoned. Her Instagram, once filled with curated photos and witty captions, turned quiet. I heard through a mutual friend that they'd moved into a smaller apartment on the outskirts of the city, far from the art district's glow. The car she loved, gone, repossessed, the new clothes, the expensive coffee habits, the nights out at fancy bars, all vanished, leaving behind a dull, gray existence. Rachel even tried to reach out once. An email, just one line. Can we talk? I didn't reply. I sat in my apartment, the same one she had left behind, surrounded by the quiet hum of a life I had rebuilt. I didn't need to intervene. The universe had a way of balancing the scales. All I had to do was step back and let it happen. Life without Rachel was quieter and better. I started running every morning, the crisp air filling my lungs, the pavement steady beneath my feet. I took up woodworking, something I'd always wanted to try. My apartment, once filled with her plants and trinkets, became mine, a reflection of who I was becoming. At work, I earned a promotion, senior analyst. My boss told me I'd been holding the team together. I smiled, knowing it was true. I blocked Rachel's number, Jason's too. No more messages, no more apologies. I didn't need them. I wasn't waiting for closure. For the first time in years, I felt free. It was a rainy evening when she showed up. Rachel, standing at my door, soaked, eyes swollen. Behind her, Jason lingered by the curb, avoiding my gaze. Please, Evan, she whispered, voice breaking. We're struggling. Can we just talk? I didn't move, didn't let her in. I'm sorry for everything, she pleaded. Jason looked down. Ashamed, I shook my head, calm and cold. I'm not your safety net, I said. Not anymore. The door closed with a quiet finality, and I didn't look back. I learned that loyalty given blindly can become a noose, and love without respect is just another cage. I learned that it's not my job to save those who never chose me. I'm no longer the fixer, the helper, the quiet supporter behind the scenes. I'm a man who values himself, who sets boundaries, and who stands tall even when the world tries to bend him. I choose myself. I'm not a backup plan, a bank account, or a band-aid for broken dreams. I am my own person, and I will never apologize for walking away.